Brian, you're on modern day philosophical chat that all
love
young
you.
men need
They
to
love
take
you.
notice to. Highest compliment. To the panel, what do
thanks.
you want
I don't
from a
think I'm-
marriage material man? S workers, why do you want men to respect you when you don't respect yourselves?
Are we going to finish going around with what men should bring to the table, or are we going to put that to rest?
He kind of just asked that.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Like, what do you want from a marriage material man? Also, he's asked, S workers, why do you want men to respect you when you don't respect yourselves?
Do they want men to respect them, though? I feel like you kind of
they always talk
forfeit
about
that. You forfeit the possibility of men respecting you when you become an SW, right?
Wait.
Well,
No.
I think that, like, and what I'm thinking that you're meaning is obviously not like anything physical or being like, oh my gosh, like screaming in your face or nothing like violent or anything, but probably like, oh, like, were you thinking of respect in a sense where, oh, if you're seeing multiple men, he can see multiple women too, not like physical, like, oh, you deserve to get socked, or like something like that. And that's what I'm assuming that's not what that was.
Well, I'm also talking about just your male clients. I don't believe that they respect the women that they are paying to penetrate.
Some don't, and that's where oh yeah.
None do. You can finish.
Oh yeah. Some don't, and that's where lately, now that I'm 31, I'm kind of like finding my voice. I feel like in my 20s I was just very quiet and just kind of went along, had good girl conditioning, and went along with the program a lot. And I noticed it got me, which I was going to comment on something you said that was really neat. Like, you were talking about how women were doing kind of subverting a very early. How do I say
They're
it?
doing wife things for their boyfriends.
Thank you. I would subvert to the wrong man in a sense where, like, I would.
Do you mean submit?
So I'm learning submission's earned, and submission is when you trust someone and they're a safe man.
Yeah.
And you know, but subversion is like they're not safe, they're just there, and it's because they're a man. And that's, I would notice I would do that, and I would notice that's when dangerous situations would happen with clients. And now I'm realizing, like, hey, if someone is hurting me or saying some things, I'm gonna end it. No, like, this is not okay. And I have my boundaries, and if someone respects it, then I'm like, okay, then I'm going with you, and I'll submit to this experience, but I won't subvert to an experience that's aggressive of any type.
Well, I'm glad that that's a possibility for you,
Yeah.
but I would assume that for the vast majority of sex workers in the world, they do not have the ability to protect themselves or advocate for themselves in those situations at all.
Like third world countries, and
that's, I mean, not even just third world countries.
Even here.
It's everywhere. I mean, part of that line of work, if you want to call it work, is being disrespected and dehumanized and objectified. Like, that is.
I was dehumanized for the first time. I'll let you say your piece, but I actually finally realized at age 30 what dehumanizing meant, and I didn't know what it meant for so long. And I have a story, but you share your piece.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no.
So tell your story.
Well, I thought you said you need to think what the story is, but I think that maybe what the Coy Jones is trying to get at here is when it comes to a relationship, most men would not want to be in a relationship with a sex worker, whether in the past or present.
But you can't speak that for all and for everybody.
Well, sure, of course I'm not speaking for all, but would you disagree, generally speaking, men don't want to date prostitutes and porn stars? And
no, there's plenty of men out there that
That's not what I said. Generally speaking, I would say most men do not want to have long-term relationships with women who are involved with sex work.
I disagree.
You think the majority of men, so more than 50% of men, want to date and have long-term relationships with women who are involved in sex work?
It's 50-50, dude.
You think so?
50% of men would date
I feel
sex
like
workers.
50% of men.
I don't know. I'm not talking numbers and stuff. I don't know that. I'm just saying that we're all different, and who knows? Like,
I'm not okay. You have to understand. I'm not saying that it's impossible for a woman to, if you have a past of sex work, current sex work, prostitution, whatever it is, it's not going to be impossible for you to find a long-term relationship or a husband. However, I don't think my statement is wrong, which is the majority of men do not want to date or wife up a prostitute.
Okay.
Or a girl who's done porn.
I disagree with that. But
well, I mean, you kind of are not seeing the bigger picture, right? Because the only men who would date you are the ones who do feel okay with the fact that you're
I want to bring
a
it back real quick to the whole how we're not respected and all this. You know what I mean? How disgusting is it for people to come to sex workers and or think about sex workers and think that we deserve not to be respected just because of our industry? It shows that you're very narrow-minded. It shows that you lack empathy. It shows a lot, actually. We are human. We are people. We're very open-minded. We're compassionate. People can come to us at the Bunny Ranch and we can sit down and have one-on-one conversations with people. They feel safe with us. And people like you guys, and I'm not saying like you guys, but people that do believe in what I don't, it's scary. It really is scary that we have a group of people that are like so narrow-minded like that.
I don't believe that you deserve to be disrespected.
One sec. Let's define the terms here a little bit. So when you say narrow-minded, also let's define respect, right? So I pulled it up, dictionary, Oxford Dictionary. Respect, number one, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. And then the other one is due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. So when we use this term respect, I think it can sometimes be interpreted differently than other people. I don't think what the super chatter is necessarily saying is that we would we would treat you in a rude or mean or contemptuous sort of way because of the work you do. I don't think that's really it. It's just
like an old penny.
Can I add something?
Sure.
So you're saying that they deserve respect regardless of their industry. Mm-hmm. And you're being narrow-minded by not respecting someone because of their industry. But I guarantee there's some sort of industry, some sort of job some guy would have. And he said respect is deep admiration. Mm-hmm. That you're not going to deeply admire him for the work he does. And respect is not deserved ever. You earn respect. And some men don't respect sex work. And it just because it doesn't benefit you doesn't mean it's bad.
I also think you guys probably have a lot more power than you think. Well, you probably both know that you have a lot more power where maybe they don't see the power that you have. The guys are paying you. You're really in charge of this thing. I remember I had a buddy who used to love going to strip clubs, and we'd go to I would go with him, and it was like, whatever. And it was funny because if I would tell the stripper that I was gay, they'd want to grind on you like double time to see what would happen. So, and like physical contact is nice, so that was fine. But like... But I would always think like, you know, the sort of normal way to think about it was somehow the girl was disrespecting herself and she's out of control and blah, blah, blah. But it's like the girl was, usually they were earning money to go to college or something, blah, blah, blah. Both of you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. And at if I had to guess, like at some point you probably will be out of this line of work and you'll probably find a guy and you'll probably have kids. So? Yeah. Yeah, you will. Like that's kind of how life works. Like life, you don't just stay in the same mental or physical state
and I think
or spiritual state forever. And you'll look back and you might go, maybe some of that wasn't great. Maybe some of it was. But if you're saving some money now and like doing something that gives some people pleasure, like I get why people can be all judgy about it,
right.
But I think you guys are going to be fine.
At the end of the day, my parents are happy with what I'm doing. My parents support me with what I'm doing. My grandparents, my uncle is probably watching this right now, so...
Wait, just to be clear, your parents
know everything about what I do.
You doing prostitution?
I'm a legal escort in Nevada.
Sure.
Okay, that's what that means.
Yes.
You are a prostitute.
I am legally doing things. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting myself.
That's not what I'm saying. But your parents support you doing prostitution.
My parents are happy with the way I'm living my life.
They are?
I bought an RV. I'm on the way to buy a house. I have done so much for myself being in this industry. I do have the right head on my shoulders, and my dad knows that.
By the way, people prostitute themselves for a lot of other stuff besides sex. You
Politics,
know what I mean?
She's not.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that towards you. I mean, like, trust me, I come out of the world of politics. Like, people sell out and do anything for money and say what they believe, and then they act contrary. So, like,
Dave,
prostitution.
But I don't know why it
ask
was so
you-
hard for you to wrap your brain around that, though, because it's like it's like
Because
you were
parents
having a
don't
hard
tend to be
time.
okay with stuff like
But
that.
my mom
Parents-
is
love me
okay.
for me,
I come from
and
a
that's
cultured
what my
family,
parents
so-
like me for. They
when
love me
something
for me.
that doesn't commonly happens, you get surprised. It's not common for parents to be okay with their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
it
pretty
surprised
rare.
him.
My parents
It's an
just are
acceptable
happy
thing
that I'm
to be
not hurting
surprised
nobody.
about.
I'm not hurting myself.
Thank you.
And I
Thank you
am
very
making
much.
money, and I am going
That's
to be
good.
doing
No, that's
things.
that's good.
I'm always leveling up in life, and why wouldn't my parents be proud of me succeeding in life?
Well, they're perhaps proud of you for the success, but it is surprising.
Somewhere where it's done legally and safely.
Sure, but I mean, it's surprising that you're. Let me ask you a question. Do you think your parents would prefer you to be an attorney, a
If they could
doctor
hit
versus a
switch,
prostitute?
all of a sudden, that would mean you do something else with your life and you have an equal amount of independence.
My
Would they
parents
do
are
that?
so proud of me for being independent and free. I'm
You can-
absolutely
But if
free.
you could
I'm a
do that in
nomad.
another
I
way,
travel
would
in
they
an
want that?
RV. They
You-
would want me to do what's best for me. My parents want me to do whatever I'm happy with and whatever I'm content with. And that's what
But
love
I mean,
is.
You could be happy and content
And
and
I-
independent without doing sex work.
But
Her
it
parents
makes me
don't care.
happy to connect with individuals on a different
Her
level like
parents don't
that.
think
Hold
like
on.
Coy _ Jones
One
donated
sec, one sec, one sec.
$100. Brian, your platform has the discussions most people won't / will not talk about.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Respect.
it.
Let me clarify, most men would not respect the self-worth of OSW, nor would not want to be with. My girl works an honest job, which is why she is my pride and joy.
I don't know if that changes so much. Would not respect the self-worth of a sex worker.
So,
Okay.
I was gonna say my mom. So my mom wasn't too happy about sex work because she's pretty conservative.
That's common.
Yeah, it's
it's more common, especially for older people. If you're old enough to be a parent,
she's a baby boomer too.
yeah, then
so.
you tend to not want your child to be selling their body.
She loved that I did the Tantra retreat. She likes that I'm getting into the holistic side of the sexuality, and she's hoping that maybe one day I have my own, my own holistic Tantra practice. She likes that, so she was
But-
kind of rooting for that.
I
You
think
seem to
parents
get-
are going to adopt a more libertarian mindset towards their
Maybe.
children engaging in sex work if they see that their child is like safe and financially secure.
Yeah,
And
Okay,
then
it is a safe
but
one.
if
anyway.
that
for-
occurs as a product of their
Hold on.
job, then I think they're going to be more likely to
Okay,
be
but
like,
the
you know what,
amount of
maybe
money I make,
maybe I was
they
being
don't-
more
like,
judgmental.
Here's the thing, though. You were deeply offended that he was surprised that your parents support it. And I'm saying the only reason he's surprised is because parents, because they're old and not
Noted.
usually libertarian, don't
Noted.
often support it. So
Noted.
there's nothing
Just let her talk.
you need to be
Let her talk.
offended about.
I'm
for
not
him being
offended. I'm just saying,
then
like,
why'd you raise your voice and get upset that he
I
was
said
surprised?
it was just super weird that he couldn't comprehend. That's just
And I
all I said.
debunked that. I explained
It's not
why.
that weird.
I come
Most
from a
parents would
very
not be okay
religious
with that.
background, so I'm actually Buddhist, and I have a sister that is actually a sex worker. And my dad was in the Vietnam War, so he's super OG, like old school, you know. Wife should cook, clean, stay at home, take care of the kids while he provides and does everything. That's what I grew up with. But as my sister is a sex worker, he doesn't mind. He doesn't care. He says like, hey, you are your own individual person. You can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But that's just
Disavow. The
Okay,
masculine.
I'm
We need the
I'm
masculine
Buddhist, so-
instinct to come in and
Where are
shame
these
this
parents
degenerate
protecting their
behavior.
daughters?
Like there's
I'm
no
living my
shame.
life for myself and nobody
Yeah.
else.
So
You know
like
what I
my
mean?
dad is like,
not good.
like I said, religious,
Because
but
the
it's just
reason
like, he's
that
saying
the-
like that's
It's my
you.
life.
Hold on, but so
So-
you're saying your father, your cousin, she's a sex worker.
No, my sister is a sex worker.
Your sister's a
yes.
sex
She
worker,
has an
and your
OnlyFans.
father's cool with it.
My father does. Yeah, he's cool
That's
with it.
you know why he's uncomfortable, like disavowing or shaming it or feeling like it's brought dishonor, is because the current social climate that we're in is very liberal, it's very progressive, and if you take a stance on any of
Grid One
this
Motorsports
shit,
donated
you're gonna
$100.
get the brunt of the
A
current social climate
304
and
will
be
a 304.
Thank you, man.
Those choices are theirs to make, but let's not deny that men do not value anything they pay for as much as things they earn. Men win a woman's love. Men earn a woman's trust. These are valued above all else.
I like the
So, Dave, I wanted to ask.
latter part of that. I like the latter part of that.
Hold on. So that blows my mind though. Like your father's cool with your sister doing, when you say sex work, we talking stripper or what?
She does like OnlyFans and stuff like that. So her content.
Well, that's
is, like,
different than that's a little
Okay.
different.
I mean, yeah,
than-
she also does like meet up with people and like for work, and like she gets paid for
Oh, so she escorts too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what she does. So my dad doesn't mind. He doesn't care. Like he says that you can either go out and be an independent woman, or you could be a stay-at-home wife.
And
You
this
can
is exactly
choose
why
your-
society is failing. Is we don't have strong men saying no, this is not okay for you to do.